Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Blood Bowl 7's Tomb Kings / Khemri. So we're looking at all the teams available in Blood Bowl right now, whether they're from the rulebook, the Teams of Legend PDF, or the expanded NAF teams, and we're putting together some of the most fun and competitive Blood Bowl 7's rosters for you. So Blood Bowl 7's is a quick play version of Blood Bowl. Games Workshop are going to be releasing it again soon, but for now there is free stuff out there everywhere, and basically smaller pitch, smaller teams, smaller time frame. You can get a game done in 40 to 45 minutes. If you want to know more about Sevens, check out our intro to Sevens video, or one of the 2 full seasons we have with a bunch of cool teams playing Blood Bowl 7s. Now it is old rules format, but you will still get a great idea of what Sevens is all about. Anyway, on with the Tomb Kings rosters. So strengths and weaknesses of the Khemri team. I'm going to keep calling them the Khemri team. They are now the Tomb Kings team, so forgive me. So the cool thing about this team is they've got 4 big guys. Now you can only take 4 positionals on this team, and by positionals I mean anybody who's not a lineman. So you do have to construct your team interestingly, but up to 4 of them can be movement 4, strength 5. No negatrait pieces for resurrection format. They do have decay, but in game that means nothing. So basically you can have up to 4 no negatrait, movement 4, strength 5 pieces. Now the downside of this roster is that there is no agility 3+ anywhere. Not a spot. The best thing you've got is the thrower, who has sure hands. That's a 75% chance of a pickup in the open air. So you kind of have to balance the fact that you've got very little agility from a ball handling point of view, with the fact that you can have a potential for a big front line of 4 strength 5 bosses. Now you do also have blitzers, so you can have up to 2 blitzers, movement 6 and block. They're undead, they're skeletons, so they're edge 4+ as well. They've got thick skull, which means they're going to keep around, and they're armor 9+, so they are pretty resilient. They've also got regeneration. Basically the whole team has regeneration, so this team is not going anywhere. However, ball handling is going to be really tricky, and that ties in with this other downside, is that their rerolls are 140k, so it is a very expensive team for rerolls. But it's kind of, you've got some variability there. You can go really heavy with big guys, you can lean on skeletons. It's a really interesting team. It's always a challenge in 11s, even though it did win a tournament this year. Twice? 2 tournaments for Tomb Kings, I think. But in 7s, it's going to be interesting. So Tomb Guardians are great, Blitzers are great, the throwers are almost ubiquitous because of that sure hands piece. Everybody else is move 5, strength 3 and agility 4+, so a little bit vulnerable. So how can we not start off with a max strength roster? So max strength roster comes in at 600, and you get 4 Tomb Guardians and 5 skeletons, so 9 players. You've got a bench of 2 skeletons, and you've got 4 Tomb Guardians. So not only does that mean that you can deploy 20 strength straight away and back it up with 3 movement 5 pieces, but you can actually swap that out. So you can drop down to 2 Tomb Guardians and 5 skeletons if you want to boost up your speed. Now you're talking about 1 square. Tomb Guardians movement 4, skeletons are movement 5, so you're not losing a lot of speed by having those Tomb Guardians in your roster. The benefit of the bench here is that you might lose a skeleton. They've got regeneration, they've got thick skull, they should be sticking around. You've got 2 skeletons that you can foul with. So Tomb Guardians being strength 5 means you are going to make great blocks and great blitzes most of the time. And you've got spare players that you can merrily wander around and foul the heck out of your opponent with, because it doesn't matter if they get sent off. It matters not, because you're going to have bench when it comes to that. Now, downside of this team is the lack of agility 3+ or anything, so your skeletons are going to be the best shot at 4+ pickups, and you've got no rerolls and no ability here to use the little skills you have to sneak a leader in. It's a tier 2 team, so you should get 2 to 3 skills, maybe even 3 to 4 skills in 7s, and you can be spending doubles to get block on the Tomb Guardians. Brawler, not going to be massively useful in 7s. You're going to end up with some blocks, but you kind of want to be using your big guys to be taking those blitzes. So if you're going to go with a skill here, Sure hands on a skeleton, make your own thrower, you know, kind of give you that advantage, and then maybe a couple of block skeletons, or go heavy, go mighty blow on the Tomb Guardians and just maximize your chance at removal. Or you can drop a Tomb Guardian and take a thrower instead. So this roster comes in at 570, 3 TG and a thrower. So 3 Tomb Guardians, 1 thrower, 5 skeletons. You've still got that bench. You've lost your 4th strength 5 piece, but what you've gained from that is the ability to get leader on a regular skill, and you've got sure hands there on that thrower, and you've still got 3 big guys to smash things up with. So this is actually going to be a really powerful roster. Come on guys, 3 strength 5 pieces. That's basically going to be tackling ogres head to head, chaos renegades head to head, and you've got kind of a reasonable reserve here of both players and skills. That sure hands is huge, and if you can sneak leader on the thrower, you're actually going to perform really, really well. Now you're tier 2, so you may even have 1 secondary skill. If you can, chuck that on your Tomb Guardian, he becomes your blitzer. But if you take no Tomb Guardians at all, it does massively open up what you can play with. So this one here, 2B, 2T reroll, 580, so 2 assistant coaches. You can maybe sneak an extra reroll off the kickoff every now and again. So 2 blitzers, so 2 of your movement 6 block pieces, 2 throwers, that's 2 of your sure hands players, 3 skeletons, so 7 players total and 1 reroll. So the downside of skeletons is their armor 8+, so they're not the most resilient things in the world from a stats point of view, but flip it around, they've got thick skull and regeneration, so if your opponent does break that armor, the chance of them being knocked out pretty slim, and if they get cased out, they could just regen and be okay. So interesting one there for you, and you get a reroll here. So this roster can potentially be reroll and leader, 2 rerolls to maximize your consistency. You've got no muscle here, but you've got 2 block pieces, and say you've got 3 skills, that's leader 1 on one of the throwers, and then that's a couple more block on other players. So you could end up with 4 block pieces, a sure hands piece, and 2 rerolls. But I know, Tomb Guardians are the coolest thing about the Khemri team, so let's sneak a couple of those in. So 2 Tomb Guardians, 2 throwers with a reroll comes to 600k. So bang on the money here. 2 movement 4, strength 5 big guys, backed up with 2 sure hands throwers, 3 skeletons and 1 reroll. So leader on one of the throwers if you can, that's 2 rerolls for your team with 2 strength 5 players. Take a double. Put it on the Tomb Guardian, give it block. Then you've got the potential to put guard on the other one, or just spam block on your other players. 2 sure hands is going to mean that you've got a really good chance at handling the ball, and having 2 strength 5 players that are never going to fail you is massive. In fact, the fact you've got no nega trait there makes an argument for that 4 big guy roster, because it's going to be the strongest one in Blood Bowl, especially from a point of view of 7s anyway. But this roster here gives you kind of the best of both worlds. You've got 2 of those strength 5 bruisers, and you've got 2 throwers to maximize your ability to actually handle the ball. You've got those 2 rerolls as well if you boost leader onto the thrower. This is a really powerful roster. Sure, you suffer on edge, sure you suffer on movement, but man, this is going to hurt some stuff. And let's chuck it all in the mixing pot. We've got a mixed reroll build here. Again, coming in bang on 600. 1 Tomb Guardian, so you've got 1 strength 5 piece. 1 blitzer, so you've got 1 movement 6 blocking piece. 1 thrower, so that you've got that sure hands and potential leader piece. 5 skeletons for a total of 8 players, so that's 1 on the bench, so you can go around kicking people in the head. Fantastic. And you've got a reroll here as well. So this one gives you a little bit of everything. So if you look at the Tomb Guardian heavy lists, you don't have block. If you look at the other lists, you don't have that strength 5 piece. This one gets you 1 bit of each, basically. You've got 1 sure hands piece, 1 block piece, 1 strength 5 piece, and a potential of 2 rerolls. So this is a really interesting mid-range build, because you've got somebody who can go toe-to-toe with a big guy. You've got a blitzer that can make effective blitzes and get that support in there, and you've got that sure hands piece. It feels like it's lacking a little bit, because if one of these pieces gets gone, you kind of struggle. If your Tomb Guardian goes out, you kind of feel like you're missing positionals. If your blitzer goes out, you're literally missing block. And if your thrower is gone, you are going to suffer from having basically leader and sure hands both being gone as well. So you can take a bit of everything here, but if any one piece goes, I feel like House of Cards takes the rest of it with you. How could I not choose this roster here? It's 7s. And if in 7s, 4 of your 7 players on the pitch have strength 5, this is horrific. This is amazing. Okay, they're movement 4, so they're not the fastest. But trees, 2 trees can cover a 7's pitch on defense. 4 Tomb Guardians on offense, crawling up the board, murdering stuff. If you've got some skills there, Mighty Blow is just going to help you massively. Yeah, sure, you're going to struggle from a ball handling point of view, but spend one of your skills on sure hands and the rest on combat. And then, you know what, you are going to lose as many games as you win here, because quite frankly, what you are playing is a game of punch you in the face rather than actually the Blood Bowl element. However, the chance to get 4 big guys on a field, yeah, alright, everyone else is Edge 4+, and you're going to struggle there a little bit, but man, that is exciting. So, it is not the most winningest roster we got here, that's probably one of the other mid-range ones, but this is a great reason to play Tomb Kings. I don't know, I think it's probably a fair shout actually. In 7s. 4 big guys. 4 big guys. It's fantastic. I love everything about this. And now come on, Vortis. I need that Kickstarter to arrive soon so we can get this out and get some games in. Anyway, guys, going to wrap up here. Do let me know what you think of Tomb Kings in 7s. I know this is not the best roster, but it's definitely the one I think is going to be more fun. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll be back again soon with some more Blood Bowl nonsense. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the show even further, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Or come and join us in our Patreon, link below, where you get early access to our content and monthly competitions. See you later.